I know this is a hypey headline and I hate overhyping tools. I was making another video, I was having a play with this, and then I had a bit of a realization I needed to stop and make this video. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why SEO as a discipline and SEOs as people inside companies or agencies are about to become way more valuable to those companies. And that's because of two things. Firstly, the move towards AI, and in particular AI search like ChatGPT. And then secondly, this new tool. First up, this is the tool. It's the SEMrush AI Toolkit. Now, I've used SEMrush as my personal daily go-to SEO tool for about 10 years. Now, we did persuade them to give you a free demo of the AI Toolkit as part of another video which we're doing for them, and they sponsored that video. So they do sponsor Exposure Ninja, but they didn't know that we're making this video. Anyway, this video isn't here to try and sell you the SEMrush AI Toolkit, but it's here to show you how one aspect of this tool I think is going to make us so much more valuable as marketers. Now, firstly, let's talk about how SEO has changed, right? So in the traditional Google 10 blue links world, it was all about keywords, it was all about search volume, it was all about creating the content that lots of people were searching for in order to get the most clicks. We had to drive backlinks to those pages in order to get them to rank. Now, all of that stuff is still important because AI tools use search in the background. But as well as that, we've got to expand our toolkit. We've got to expand the number of things that we're optimizing for, because AI search also looks at things like sentiment analysis. What are people saying about your company, your products, or your services? We need to think about market share. And rather than particular keywords, because people search all sorts of crazy long searches in ChatGPT, we need to think more about topics. And topics, market share, and sentiment analysis are going to become new tools in the SEO's toolkit, part of our day-to-day lexicon. These are going to be the areas that we're providing value for our clients. And this tool helps us do that stuff, right? We can see our market share against our competitors in different AI search tools. We can see the overall sentiment, so how these tools talk about our brand, products, and service based on all the information that they've crawled and scraped from across the web. And we can dive into more detail about some of these areas. So I'm looking at the Vanguard.com and I can see that things that people really love about Vanguard are low cost fees and expense ratios, their reputation and trustworthiness. So that's really good. We can also see some areas for improvement based on the sentiment analysis, like limited human interaction in digital advisory services. And by the way, some of you watching might look at this areas for improvement section and get why I'm so excited about this immediately. If not, no worries, it will come. Then at the end of this overview, we get some strategic opportunities. So these are things that we might want to do short term, medium term, and urgently. You thought I was going to say short term, medium term, and long term, didn't you? But no, it's short term, medium term, and urgent. So that's the main dashboard. We've then got these three different reports. We've got the business landscape, which shows where we sit against our competitors in the market. And this gives us some real strategic top level suggestions. Have you got it yet? It shows us market share against our competitors in the AI search wars. And again, some opportunities, short term, medium term, and urgent. We've got a brand and marketing section. This shows us some of the features that we might want to emphasize in our brand and marketing communications. For example, Vanguard should be emphasizing their reputation and trustworthiness. And they might want to pre-handle some objections like minimum investment requirements, explaining why those are in place, or tailoring their advertising to people for whom that isn't going to be an issue. And then we've got the audience and content section. This is going to be the part that feels most familiar to marketers. So it's talking about the different query intents. So how we break down the different types of things people are asking these AI tools between education, comparison, support, purchase, and improvement. And this is essentially stages of the marketing funnel, right? Education is the real very top level of the marketing funnel, talking about getting some information about investing or what different terms mean. Very, very unlikely to turn into a customer, but it's the sort of stuff, if we can start being featured in early, it might get us some traction. Then we move down to comparison, which is where people are comparing us against competitors. We move into support, and then purchase. This is like the bottom of the funnel, the stuff that we might want to influence most heavily. We also get a breakdown of this query intent by the top topics that our business is being seen for. So in Vanguard's case, fees, pricing, and cost comparison is a big topic for them. That's something that a lot of potential customers are searching for on ChatGPT, and you can see a breakdown of the intent of the queries in this section. The tool even gives you some suggestion on specific content topics to cover. And by the way, if you're watching this and want to try SEMrush's AI toolkit for yourself, visit the link on the screen and you'll be able to try a great free demo of how the tool works. Now this stuff is cool, but it feels very familiar. This isn't the piece that's going to transform the value of SEOs and digital marketers to the organizations that they're working with. That is going to come from the business landscape and these recommendations. Let me explain. The SEO traditionally sat inside the marketing department. You might have an SEO sat under a marketing manager, sat under a CMO who's reporting to the leadership of the company. And it's that company leadership that will be making decisions like, where do we focus our budget on? What are the key initiatives that we're going to be driving over the next year or the next quarter? In a small business, those top-level decisions are often handled by potentially a single person, often the founder or the CEO of the company. But in almost no business are those decisions or recommendations being made by the SEO. And yet, look at what the SEMrush AI dashboard is giving us. It is giving us strategic business recommendations. And these suggestions aren't plucked from thin air. This isn't just someone going on ChatGPT and saying, what should I focus on with my business in the next year? These recommendations are based on detailed analysis of real customer and AI tool sentiment about your business and your competitors. For Vanguard, this analysis is identifying things like they need to accelerate ESG fund innovation and stewardship communications because they are losing out against competitors in this area. For those types of searches in ChatGPT, other brands are being recommended. This is a weak spot for Vanguard. You've heard us talking about content gaps, right? Content gaps are topics that your brand isn't producing much content for, and there is an opportunity to increase your visibility if you produce more content. What we've got here is aggregated recommendations from dozens of different content sources, fed through lots of different AI platforms, and then with a clear recommendation to modernize your platform because there is overall negative sentiment about it and your competitors are winning in this area. And these aren't just top-level throwaway suggestions. They're detailed based on all of the answers that are being produced. Upgrade the digital advisory and customer experience to match or surpass competitors. Users are interested in digital advice, self-service tools, and hybrid support, areas where competitors are investing heavily and winning share. Of course, the likelihood is that company leaders are already aware of these things. Maybe they're mentally sweeping them under the rug, or maybe they're already priorities. But here we have SEMrush, which is essentially an SEO tracking tool, now being able to recommend direction and company strategy, company priorities based on this type of sentiment analysis. Now, I don't know where this goes. I don't know what the end game for this is, but I'd be amazed if more company leaders and company leadership doesn't start using tools like SEMrush's AI toolkit to aggregate and collect this sentiment about their company to inform the decisions that they're making. As we all use AI more and more in our daily lives, knowing what's going on in all of those individual conversations and how we can make sure that our brand is the one that's being recommended to people when they're having the relevant conversations is going to become more and more important. We've said it before, I think this is the #1 marketing battleground of the future. But I think if we look at this tectonic shift in search behavior and technology, and all we do is use it as a way of identifying what content topics we need to write more about, I think we're missing the bigger picture here. The bigger picture is actually using these tools to collect customer sentiment and direct our business on where to go if we're to generate the most growth possible. By the way, if you want to work with Exposure Ninja, we help businesses improve their visibility and sentiment in AI tools. We've got some of our clients generating a significant proportion of their online revenue coming from being recommended by tools like ChatGPT. If you're interested in working with us, you can request a free marketing review from our website at exposureninja.com. Tell us a bit about your business, what your goals are, and then we'll analyze how visible you are at the moment and what you could do to improve that visibility and sentiment. This service is completely free of charge, but not everybody is eligible. So if you're not eligible and then you go onto our Google reviews and you complain that I told you that you were going to get a free review and you didn't get a review, please don't do that. Not everybody is eligible, so you do need to apply for this. So go to exposureninja.com to request your free marketing review today. So let me know in the comments below, do you agree with this? Do you think it is going to be this profound? And the biggest question of all, do you think that company leadership will ever listen to the SEOs? Until next time, see you soon.